Guys, welcome back to my channel, and in this series we're going to be going over the sun signs, okay, the sun in the signs. And in this episode we're going to be talking about our last but very powerful sign, Pisces. So having your sun in Pisces, okay. And before we get into that, I just want to remind you guys, if you want to book a reading with me, you surely can. I do astrology, birth natal chart interpretations, as well as tarot. All you have to do is email me at samastroreadings@gmail.com. That's samastroreadings@gmail.com. And I'll surely get back with you. All right? So getting back into sun in Pisces, okay, sun in Pisces. So the first thing I want to talk about with sun in Pisces is the season, okay? Our sun signs are literally like a month long. They usually overlap between 1 month and another. But each sun sign has their season. And for Pisces, if you were born between February 19th and March 20th, congratulations and happy birthday. You are a sun Pisces, okay? And it's very important to understand the season, because the season's going to represent a lot of the themes of the sign, okay? So being that sun Pisces season is February 19th to March 20th. This is during the end of winter season and when it's transitioning into spring. And you guys know the transition from winter to spring is one moody one, in terms of like there's a lot of rain, then it could be a little bit bright one day, then it could be cold, then it could be snowing, then it could be a little warm again, then it can feel like spring in this time, then it could go back to raining. This is typical Pisces season, okay? Very mixy, very flip-floppy, very kind of all over the place, but it's a transition. So it's truly represents Pisces energy, because Pisces is very emotional. Pisces is very moody. It switches its moods a lot. And Pisces is also not just emotional, moody, but also a chameleon, okay? Pisces can kind of interpret and in tune with anybody's energy. So much so that sometimes they don't even have their own identity, because they kind of draw their energy with other people. They tune into other people's energies. So again, very chameleon-like. They could be anything. They can change into anything. Very versatile, very mutable. Pisces is a very mutable sign. It's, in my opinion, the most mutable sign, because not only is it mutable, but it's also water. And if you know, the water element is the most flexible element, okay? It can change into many different forms, solid, many different forms, whether it be like snow, whether it be ice, whether it be, you know, water, whether it be hail. It also can dissolve into anything. You know, it's very, again, water is flexible. It's dissolving. It kind of dissolves into anything. It becomes what it interacts with. So it's very much Pisces, the chameleon-like, the emotional person going from different emotions, the emotional, intelligent person who can tune into everybody and kind of feel all people's energies. This is the chameleon-like, and the emotional waves that represent, you know, Pisces energy. This is why the season is so flip-floppy and it's all over the place. It's, you know, that water sign, the emotions of the water sign and the flexibility. So yes, and one of the first things I can say about sun in Pisces is this placement is a very emotionally expressive, okay? It's a water sign, it's Pisces. When you put this in sun, our energy that we express, you'll be expressing lots of emotions. Pisces are definitely very emotional, and they express them a lot. Not always in a disrupting way, but you're definitely going to notice how their moods change up and down, and how they can feel a certain way about something because of how they're feeling emotionally, and pretty much how their emotions can direct their energy and their behaviors and how they're feeling. And it's up and down, up and down, up and down. And you know, when you're very emotional, you pick up on lots of energies, so it can move, you know, your mood up and down and all around. And you could be all over the place because you're picking up on lots of different energies, and it's intuitive, and sometimes you don't understand what you're feeling, so it could be overwhelming and it could just make you look very emotional. So yes, Pisces are definitely very emotional sign. You know, they're the people, you know, they're going to be complaining about certain things based on how they feel. They're going to notice certain things based on how they feel. Their emotion and their intuition is so powerful. So very emotionally expressive, very emotional people. Also, Pisces are very emotionally vulnerable, okay? As emotionally expressive they are, this is also because with being very emotional can make you very vulnerable. Like I said, the reason why they feel so much is because their energy is so open. You know, Pisces has this open type of energy, no boundaries, okay? If we were able to like see people's like energies beyond like physical, but like people's like auras, I feel like Pisces aura would just be super open, okay? Super, super open that anyone can kind of like grasp, touch, or, you know, have access to. And because their energy is so open and they feel everyone's, it could definitely make them vulnerable emotionally. It can drain them out. People can kind of use, you know, the compassion and the caring of a Pisces, you know, to their advantage, you know. So when you don't have these boundaries with your emotions and you're feeling everyone and you're allowing everyone in and you're kind of in everyone's energy, you lose your sense of self. It makes you vulnerable. It makes you not understand what you want, what you emotionally want, because you're all up in everyone's energy. And people can use that. People can use your compassion, use your ability to care for someone to their advantage, all right? So lots of energy drainage, you know, Pisces doing too much for people because they care so much and then people taking advantage. You know, so be careful with your open energy. Pisces have a strong, in my opinion, karmic responsibility to learn how to protect their boundary, to learn how to protect their emotions, to learn how to have boundaries and create boundaries. This will make their life a lot easier and less drained, and people not energy absorbing them all the time. So definitely be aware and have them boundaries, because that's one of the hardest things Pisces have to do. Also, this placement is very artistic and creative. As we said before, Sun is very creative. Sun represents how we creatively express ourselves through our identity, whether it be our fashion, whether it be our personality. It is the costume that we kind of put on and project to the world. So it's very creative. You know, Sun deals with vision. You know, when the sun comes out after the rain, that's when the rainbow comes out. You know, Sun deals with art and creative vision, and then when you put it in Pisces, the sign of artistry, the sign of imagination, the sign of intuitive creativity, these people are super artistic and they express it a lot. You know, Pisces are going to be into the arts. Sun Pisces, not all the time. You could be a Sun Pisces and not into the art. It really depends on your chart. But this placement, if you isolate it alone, it's definitely artistic. And this can be music, okay? Music could be a big thing for Sun Pisces. Especially with water signs, but because Pisces is the artistic water signs, and the reason why I say water signs is because water is music. Water kind of rules music in the sense of vibrations and sounds and waves. If you think about water and you think about music, they're very similar. Even how you see the notes down like a musical line, a musical bar line, and how it goes up and down like a wave, is just like a wave. And sound waves, that's why they call it, you know, you put sound waves, which is music, and compare it to the waves of the ocean, again, it's that vibration, okay? It's that, and also just that flexibility of music and the notes and the water and the waves, okay? So, and water energy, water signs are very intuitive, and being intuitive makes you a really good music artist, okay? You can hear sounds, you can create your own sounds, you can really be in tune with the music because you're so sensitive and you're absorbing a lot of energy. So definitely really good with music. Sun Pisces could be very interested in music, any type of musical expression, art, drawing, painting, theater, the performing arts. Sun Pisces is a very artistic placement, and you're gonna like to express yourself in that way, okay? Definitely very artistic. So get into the arts because your imagination wants to really unleash itself, okay? With the Sun energy, expressing yourself and bringing out that Pisces artistic intuition energy, You really want to get into the arts and just express it. So definitely something big with Sun and Pisces. Also, Sun and Pisces, you can definitely be very intuitive, have some psychic gifts possibly. I would say Pisces, in my opinion, is much more stronger in like moon. So if you have like Moon and Pisces, in my opinion, that's when the intuition is the strongest, because Moon is all about your intuition. It's your soul, it's your emotions, it's how you feel other people. Sun is more spiritual, okay? It's more about yourself. But because we're talking about Pisces, you're still going to have those attributes. So the intuitive, almost psychic abilities, kind of reading people's energies, feeling people's energies accurately, getting like kind of like intuitive signs. These things definitely Sun and Pisces are gonna have. Very intuitive, very psychic, have like really cool abilities that they can not only do they have, but they can kind of display it. You got to think about the sun. The sun is, again, our identity, what we express. So people can see these, psychic abilities, these psychic gifts. You can express it in some way and some sort of way. Because like I said, Sun and Pisces is a very gifted placement. When you put in Sun, you're putting those gifts of Pisces out for display with the Sun energy. So people can see your intuitive gifts. People can see that, and you can display it too. Maybe if you're a Sun in Pisces, maybe you can get into like magic, maybe doing magic tricks, because I know they use of course they use tricks to do magic, but there's like intuition as well. Like maybe you could be like a psychic reader, but you do it live so everyone can see, because again, the Sun is like a performance. But of course you don't have to do that. But basically what I'm saying is like your intuitive abilities is out on the display. So people definitely can see it because you show it. And it's definitely a big part of you, okay? So also with Sun and Pisces, these people are generally very nice. Sun and Pisces are not the most outgoing. However, they naturally attract a lot of people because of how compassionate, nice, and easygoing their energy is. Like I said, their aura is kind of like open. So it's kind of like a welcome. Everybody can come in kind of. So they do attract a lot of people. And a lot of people like Pisces because, again, they're very nice. They're very caring. They're very considerate. They're so flexible. So very nice, compassionate people. Pisces are the ones who care about you. They care about your feelings. They ask you the right questions. They can be even very healing. But they're so compassionate, empathic. They're just nice, and they go with the flow. You could be talking to them about something they're not even interested in, but they'll just be there and listen to it and ask questions like they are, because of that compassion, that empathy that they have for other people, and how they just feel other people's energies and how they just want to be there for them. So yeah, Sun Pisces, very nice people. It's definitely a very compassionate, nice sign, very emotionally caring. Also with Sun and Pisces, speaking of, their creativity that we talked about, their fashion, their look, their image, their identity, very, very, very amazing, very creative, very artistic. I like to say Sun and Pisces, they kind of like to play roles when it comes to fashion. With the other signs that are into fashion, like Sun Taurus and Sun Libra, they can be really good with looks and style. And Sun Leos, they can really push out their fashion. But Sun Pisces, though, they to me are so creative, so imaginative. They like to play roles with the way that they dress. So when I think of Pisces, not only are they good with fashion because they're creative, just like a lot of the artistic signs like Sun Libra, Sun Leo, Sun Taurus, but they're also like in their kind of imagination. They're playing a role. They're not just wearing an outfit to look nice, but they're telling a story. Pisces is, again, the sign of like imagination and, like movies and like all those types of stuff. So like they like to kind of dress up in terms of like playing a character, getting into a role. So Sun and Pisces, not all of them are going to be into fashions, but the ones that are, you can be really impressed with their fashion because it kind of tells a story. It kind of looks like they're playing a character. So they're very creative with their identity in that way, Very, very creative. You'll be like, oh, how did you put that on? Or, wow, you look really cool. Oh, you look vintage. Or, hey, you look like you're from the future. Like, they're very role play when it comes to their fashion and their identity. And they're versatile. They could be anything every day. It's like dress up, you know, for Sun in Pisces. So when it comes to the fashion, when it comes to the look, when it comes to identity, you guys are definitely on point. I go as far as to say it's like you guys are kind of wearing a costume, and it's just amazing how, you know, Sun Pisces can like just take on different roles depending on what they're wearing. Also, Sun in Pisces, they could have a dreamy or spacey look to them. Pisces is the sign of, you know, daydreaming and kind of like dreaming basically, and like being kind of like in your own little world. So Sun in Pisces, because Sun deals with your look and how people kind of see you. You could be kind of like always daydreaming a lot. You could have the look like you're spaced out. And that's because you could probably be, you know, Sun Pisces, you know, Pisces energy, very magical. They're all into their imagination. So they have a lot going into their mind, and they can kind of space out. And, you know, Pisces is so opposite from physical reality. So they love being in their imagination. You know, they love kind of getting out of the physical world and to something more theatrical, something out of this world. So daydreaming, looking spacey is definitely an attribute with Sun in Pisces. Also with Sun in Pisces, psychedelics, drugs, okay? Pisces does rule escapism, and drugs come right into that. So definitely be mindful of any habits that you probably have. Sun Pisces could definitely be into the psychedelics, into the drugs, so into the substances. So definitely be mindful. This is not every Pisces, of course, but because Pisces does rule escapism, this definitely can be a manifestation. So you could definitely be into the escape and using substances to do that. So be careful that you don't make this so much a part of your identity. All right, because then you can get into like a drug habit, which, you know, can take you down a negative road. So, you know, nothing wrong with having fun, but check yourselves when it comes to those psychedelics, because you guys can really, really enjoy that. Also, theater, the performing arts, movies, music, okay, this type of entertainment, consumption, this is all about Pisces. Pisces not only are artistic in the way that I can see them joining theater clubs and being a part of the performing arts. That could be a big thing with Sun in Pisces, because again, they love a story. They love theater. They love storytelling. They love movies. They love the imagination. They love music. They love art. They love how that brings you into another world. So Sun in Pisces could be a huge, they can consume a lot of like movies, like love to watch movies, love to listen to music, have like all their little music collections, and just be big for the arts, be a big collector of the arts, maybe like collecting crystals and paintings, you know, whatever it is. You're a big consumer of the arts. Art is you. So definitely be mindful of that. Sun in Pisces, not only are they artistic, but they consume a lot of art too. So these are definitely the people that use artistry as a form of fun and leisure. Also, when we talk about our sun signs, we definitely talk about our sexuality, okay, and how we express our sexuality. And when you talk about Sun in Pisces, sexually, Sun in Pisces is very imaginative, okay? Pisces is actually a very kind of passive energy. They're not as assertive and aggressive. They're actually very much the opposite. Similar to like Sun in Libra when it comes to sexuality, a little bit more passive, more chill. Especially with Pisces, very passive and chill. So their sexuality is stimulated through their imagination more than physical reality. And there could be different levels to this, okay? This could be an extreme where a Sun in Pisces probably only wants to deal with sexuality in the form of like a video, like maybe watching the videos, versus actually engaging. Yes, so like, you know, watching sex would probably be more entertaining for them, more stimulating than actually the activity of it. You know, very Pisces. Why? Because Pisces is all about, you know, your imagination and creating a world. It's like getting out of the physical world and getting into your imagination. So it's less tangible, okay? Sun in Taurus would represent the very physical aspect of sex. You know, Taurus rules the physical world. They're so connected to their physical reality. So they would be, again, they rule sex in the form of senses, to physical touch, the smell, everything. But Pisces is like on the other opposite side. Pisces is the spiritual sign, all in their imagination. They rule superstition. They rule things that are fantasy like. So when it comes to their sexuality, it's more of a fantasy. Like, again, some of them, not all the time, would rather, watch a sexual video, imagine it, versus actually physically being it. And it can make them sexually kind of more passive. Okay, so that could be a manifestation of Sun Pisces. Sun Pisces is not that strong, raw sexuality. Okay, the sexuality could be very strong, but it's more in their imagination and what they can create with their imagination. And because they have to do that, they want to steer away from all the physical, raw reality of sex. That can almost turn them off. Okay, so especially for men, because when it comes to sexuality and the way our physical bodies, men are assertive. So with female Pisces, they could easily tap into this energy. It might not be a problem for women at all, because the way women's bodies are designed, they're more the receptive end of sex. Not all the time, but typically they're on the receptive end of sex. So Sun in Pisces, a female Sun in Pisces, sexuality might not be an issue at all. If you're on the more submissive end of sex, or receptive, versus because you're not doing anything, you're kind of just receiving energy. Whereas if you're, a Pisces man, the way our, bodies are built, and it depends, you can still choose whichever position you want to be, regardless if you're a man or a female. But stereotypically, I'm saying men are more assertive. The way our bodies are made, we're more on the assertive side of sex. So it could be it could be an issue for men having that Sun Pisces sexual energy, because of the passiveness and putting us in that position where we need to be more assertive. So definitely a thing with Sun in Pisces. But depending on what you like sexually, if you're more passive, then it won't be an issue with you. But if you want to be more assertive and, you got that Sun Pisces energy, can cause issues, okay? And you also have to take in consideration your Mars sign. So don't run with this. Just because your Sun is in Pisces doesn't mean you're going to be completely passive. No. You got to look at your chart fully. Your Mars sign rules your sexuality directly as well, too. So this is definitely not always the case. And depending on how it's aspected, that'll let you know how extreme, this energy could be. But regardless, Sun in Pisces is definitely a more passive sexuality, and it's activated more through the imagination than reality. So with Sun in Pisces, this can represent your masculine, father, patriarchal figure. Okay, so this could be your father figure. If you didn't have a father, this could be your mother figure. She took on that role of the leader. This could be, your uncles. This could be someone you looked up to on TV. Whoever was that patriarchal masculine figure to you, when you have your Sun in Pisces, it's going to represent Pisces energy, that masculine figure. It's going to represent Pisces energy. So your father could have been very compassionate, very caring. Pisces is the intuitive sign. So they could be very caring, very passionate, very just understands how you feel, and is very nurturing. They could have also been very artistic. Your father could have been an artist, very creative, and that kind of like spilled onto you. If it wasn't your father, it could have been your mother. It could have been someone you looked up to that was your masculine figure. It could have been very artistic, and that, influenced you. Also, with Pisces, there could have been no father. Pisces represents what we're not aware of. Okay, delusions, illusions, an illusion of a father who says they're there and they're not. No father in the house. It's unknown. You don't know what this source is. A lack of structure and masculine energy within the home with Sun in Pisces, okay? So definitely be mindful of that, because Pisces is a very emotional sign. And that lack of structure could affect you emotionally. With that Sun in Pisces, cause you to be an emotional person. Yes, very much so. With Sun in Pisces, you can also have a father figure or a masculine figure that was into the drugs, into the psychedelics, into the escapism. Okay, so maybe you witnessed them, maybe your father was someone who drank a lot or whatever, and that caused him also to be distant, not really present. Pisces is all about the imagination, not being physically present in the reality, so that lack of structure again is there. But the creativity, the compassion, the intuition is there as well too. Also a form of spirituality. Your father could have been very spiritual as well too, very intuitive, connected to higher energies. You guys could have been talking about dreams and what they meant. Pisces rules dreams. Rules are, intuition, imagination. Could have been very spiritual in that sense as well too. Okay, so definitely a big form with Sun in Pisces, but definitely a lack of structure. Could have been a manifestation. A lack of father in general could be a manifestation. The detachment because they're on drugs, the illusions, that could have been. But then also it could have just been a very creative masculine figure, someone who's very creative, someone who's very passionate, someone who taught you how to care for other people, someone who's very caring, emotional. So it could go either way. And that is Pisces. It's very dualistic. It can go either way. But yes, that definitely could have been your father, your masculine figure. But yes, that is Sun in Pisces. Yes, yes, yes. Very creative people, very intuitive, very artistic. Just remember, you need to have your boundaries, okay, so you don't get drained. But this is a very artistic, creative, spiritual placement. And I hope you guys enjoyed that. I do enjoy Sun Pisces. And if you did enjoy, you definitely could book a reading with me. Okay, I do birth natal chart readings as well as tarot. All you gotta do is email me at samastroreadings@gmail.com. That's samastroreadings@gmail.com. And I'll surely get back to you. And thanks for watching, guys. And I'll check you guys out on the next video.